Thank you for listening to this informative speech about breastfeeding. Before we continue, I'd like you to know that the information gathered here is from La Lichee Ligue Internationale, Breastfeeding Information A through Z, and Credo Reference, Encyclopedia of Motherhood. So what is breastfeeding, and why should we care about it? We should care about breastfeeding because it affects both mom and baby, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Breast milk is a naturally made, nutritionally sufficient food for babies 0 to 6 months, aiding them in physical growth, brain development, and even immunity, but it can have lasting effects throughout toddlerhood as well. Breast milk starts off as colostrum at birth. By day 5 through 14, it changes into transitional milk, and after day 14, it will continue to be produced as mature milk. Breast milk changes both in milk composition and in volume depending on the baby's growth rate and gender, which the mom can detect by different surges of either estrogen in females or in testosterone in males during pregnancy. Milk is produced inside the mammary glands of the breast tissue during the last portion of the third trimester. As baby suckles on mom, the hormone oxytocin is released, inducing bonding behaviors between them both, but also inducing contractions around the mammary glands, which squeezes them, ejecting the milk into milk ducts so the baby can drink it. Oxytocin also aids in uterine contractions, which can help the mom to deliver the afterbirth, or in the case of a multiple birth pregnancy, can help mom to deliver siblings too. Oxytocin is released during skin-to-skin contact, so dad can be a part of this bonding behavior as well. Breast milk contains other hormones like melatonin, which can help the baby to produce REM cycles, and serotonin and dopamine, which can aid in the baby's emotional state. Breastfeeding allows for continued communication between mom and baby. As babies breastfeed, some of their saliva backwashes into mom's breast tissue, and mom's body can detect the baby is sick. If they are, her response to this is to produce specifically made antibodies just for that specific pathogen, aiding the baby's defense, and in some cases, even aiding in defense against cancerous cells like leukemia. Breastfeeding can also reduce other illnesses, such as allergies, asthma, and even ear and respiratory infections. Mom can aid in baby's intestinal health as well by producing and ejecting healthy bacteria into the breast milk, which the baby consumes, that acts as a probiotic, reducing the baby's risk of developing colic and potentially even childhood obesity. As we've probably all heard, breast milk is attributed to aiding in a child's higher IQ, but more importantly, because of the advanced brain development through the contents of breast milk, breastfeeding can reduce the risk of SIDS up to 50% due to the fact that the medulla oblongata is able to develop well, and it is responsible for keeping us breathing and our hearts beating even while we're asleep or unconscious. There is also a strong correlation between the amount of time that mom breastfeeds and her reduced risk of developing breast cancer or osteoporosis later on in life, due to the fact that when mom breastfeeds, her estrogen levels decrease, which can decrease abnormal cell growth in her breasts and her calcium intake or levels in her bones, so that after she is finished breastfeeding, her bones can start to rebuild, becoming stronger than they were before. These lower estrogen levels can also prohibit her from conceiving another child for a certain duration of time during breastfeeding, working in conjunction with the lower sexual desire. For all these different changes in both mom and baby, it is extremely important that mom keeps up a healthy diet and exercises every day, especially because babies eat hundreds of calories of mom's intake per breastfeeding, which allows them to have exponential growth and allows her to shed off the extra pounds that she gained during pregnancy. Because baby eats whatever mom eats, babies may become less picky eaters in the future. Also why moms should be careful about what they're putting into their bodies, just like they had when they were pregnant. Because moms produce milk that is specifically made only for their children, this can give her a sense of empowerment and strong bonding between her and her baby, or it can make her feel a loss of autonomy. Because breast milk letdown is excreted at even the slightest cry from a baby, this can lead to embarrassment if it happens at odd times, or in the case of an odd suckling position, it can cause pain. Mastitis, which is an infection in the breast, and engorgement, which is an overfill of the breast tissue, can also be painful conditions arising from breastfeeding. For these reasons, it is very important to analyze all the different aspects of breastfeeding in different methods, such as hand expression or pumping, or even supplementing with formula. If mom chooses to hand express or pump her milk, she can actually freeze it in the future for a later date and then deliver it to baby through a bottle. So in summary, breastfeeding affects both babies physically, emotionally, and psychologically, and affects moms physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Breastfeeding starts to have effects on both of them during infancy, but it can have effects throughout toddlerhood as well. And we should care about breastfeeding because it affects all of society by affecting both mom and baby physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Here are the references for where I've gathered this information. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.